I remember the first time I was assigned to be a district leader. Missions are divided so that you have first a companionship, two, sometimes three, usually two missionaries working together, then multiple companionships form a district, and you come for weekly training meetings where you train each other on how to more effectively teach, to how to explain things more clearly, how to work together better. So you have your district, and multiple districts make up a zone, and you'll have usually every 6 weeks or so, you'll have a zone conference where there's a training for the whole zone. And then multiple zones make up your mission. So when I was first when I was first assigned as a district leader, I remember wanting to take that responsibility very seriously. And it was a kind of weird situation where I was made a district leader halfway through a transfer. And so the normal schedule where I would be able to train my district before ever meeting with the mission president wasn't in place. I was going to meet with the mission president the next week. And so, long story short, I tried to make some exceptions so that I could train them first, so that I would have a better feel for where the district needed to grow, have a better idea of what things we could improve on when I talked with the mission president. So we weren't normally supposed to schedule those meetings, and they were expensive for people to come from different parts of France to meet together. But I thought, this is a worthy exception. And then the day or maybe 2 days before our training that I was going to do, I got a call from the mission headquarters, from the assistants to the mission president, who said, okay, we've heard you're going to do this training. Really, that's not how we want to use mission funds. It's against the way we run things, so we're going to have to ask you to cancel that. And I remember just feeling completely humiliated and thinking, oh, great, now I've blown it. I've done it again. I tried to do what was good, but it wasn't what I was supposed to do. And in classic 19-year-old style, started beating myself up about it. And a few days later, the assistants were traveling through the mission, and so they were going to spend one night in our apartment as they were traveling to one of the further out regions of France. And one of them pulled me aside at one point and really made sure that I knew that him correcting me was not something he had wanted to do, that it wasn't something that he was trying to kind of one-up me and say, oh, you have a lot to learn as a district leader. You have a lot to learn. Rather, he said, I just know there's protocol, there's rules that really help this mission to run smoothly. But he expressed so much love for me, so much compassion and so much appreciation. And that made all the difference. And there's so many other times in my mission as well where I saw that love has to be the motivation when you are correcting someone. Really, whenever you're doing anything, but when you are correcting someone particularly. In the Doctrine and Covenants, it talks about how you shouldn't correct someone unless you are moved upon by the Spirit. When I think of the Spirit, I think of its defining features. Really, like the Bible says, God is love. So unless love is compelling you to correct someone, I find it's not even worth it. I mean, you're always trying to improve. There's so many training opportunities, and as a companionship, you're always trying to make plans and goals to how you can be better, how you can improve, how you can be more effective in helping people. And so you're constantly giving each other tips and saying, you know what, I think it'd be more effective if we did this. I think that maybe we should be kinder to this person. You know what, maybe we should really serve more. And so with all of that in mind, there are opportunities that I had, that every missionary has, to correct a companion, to correct someone in your district, to correct another missionary, or maybe correct is even too strong of a word, but to improve, or to suggest an improvement. And I think that I learned on my mission that there is a huge difference. It's subtle, but huge and so important. There's a difference between I am correcting you and I love you versus I am correcting you because I love you. When you correct someone and you love them and they're two separate notions, it doesn't matter how much I care about you. It doesn't matter if you're my best friend. If I am correcting you for any reason other than love, whether it's I want to look good at having corrected someone, whether it is I want to kind of zing you just a little bit, whatever your motivation is, if it's not love, just don't even bother. Yes, that correction could help them, but from my experience, correcting someone, if your motivation isn't love, it doesn't have the effect that you need it to have. It severs relationships. It makes someone feel more discouraged, and often causes resentment. If you cannot stop and say, I am doing this because I care about them, because I want them to succeed, instead of just, and I want them to succeed, if you can't say that, then just don't correct them. They'll continue doing that thing that is less effective or could be better, but the love is more important. The love is so much more important. And that applies not just in companionships and not just on a mission, but in jobs as managers. If you aren't doing something because you want your employee to succeed, or in a family, if you aren't suggesting something because you want your brother to have a richer, fuller life, then don't even bother with the suggestion. It's just not worth it. Whereas when you do something with love, there's so much power. People understand, they feel it. God makes sure that people know when you love them, and they will, maybe they'll accept it, maybe they won't, but your relationship will be strengthened rather than weakened.